What up, fam? Me Fresh here, and I'm back with an all new video. And today we are back in the world of Destiny 2. In today's video, we gotta talk about this whole Divinity situation because it's insane right now what's happening, and Destiny community is just going into just the shitter at this point. So I want to talk about this and give my own opinions about the whole Divinity thing. Now, just for context, for people who don't understand, this all started because Salt, whatever you want to call him, put up a post on Twitter about nerfing Divinity. He thinks it should be nerfed because he doesn't like that it feels like it's a weapon that has to be used, especially during day one raids. And I know some people probably hearing me just thinking, why don't you use something else? I get it, all right? But I wanted to hear my man now. So what his solution is that what they should do is make it to where Divinity does not rebuff, it doesn't give a buff, nor will it allow any other buffs to happen if you use it. So basically, let's say I use Divinity, right? So the Divinity buff, it's a damage, goes away. Also, if I use a tether, that doesn't work either. So he's saying no other buff should work with it while I'm using Divinity. Now, I would argue that that's incredibly stupid, in that, you know, he's the top 0.0001% of players who could actually do that. And I'm trying to meet him on a happy medium here by just saying, how about we just take the buff off of Divinity and period? But if I use my Divinity, even though I don't have one, shout out to other people that do, say you wanted to use your Divinity and you wanted to be able to still shoot a tether and get a damage buff, why not? Why would you want to just take buffs away in general? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like that's so you want to just completely just negate subclasses at this point by doing that. Like, it's stupid. So no, I don't agree with that at all. I'm not. If you want to nerf it again, I'm not mad. I don't care. At the end of the day, honestly, it doesn't really affect me that much. But what I'm saying is, a lot of people use Divinity in groups because it helps them. And so now, because you don't feel challenged enough, the rest of the people who actually used it for help, you want them to be punished because you're just not, because you're bored. That I don't agree with. But if you were to come to a happy medium, like I said, and make it to where the damage debuff of Divinity goes away, fine. But allow me to still use Tether. Allow me to even go use Tractor Cannon or whatever else I want to use. But just to not have a buff at all is just like stupid. But to me, Divinity's not even the overall problem with this. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is my issue with just Destiny in general. We're only using Divinity because anytime we play a raid, those raid bosses, they don't move. You're using it for two reasons. Number one, the raid boss sits still, so you put a giant crisp on him and you shoot him for damage. Number two, the outside ads that are hitting you are flinching you so hard that without Divinity, a lot of the times you're missing crit shots. So it makes sense using Divinity. So I get it. So the fact that you want to yet again remove that, it just seems weird to me, man. Just like, I get it. You're not challenged enough, and you're great. I mean, I'm not denying it, man. You do some incredible shit, bro. I'm not even gonna deny it. But at the same time, you were like the smallest percentile of what this game actually, has in terms of its player base. The majority of us can't do the shit that you do. That's just life, man. The game's not hard enough for you, I get it. But like I said, the point of this is, for me, it's not just the fact of Divinity. Like I said, since the bosses sit still so much, they don't do anything. Here's my solution. Instead of you wanting to nerf Divinity, why not just make better encounters in the game? Then you don't have to worry about that. And when I say better encounters, this is what I mean. Anytime you play a raid, just think about it. The only raid boss that's actually moved around in somewhat of a pace is Rope from the Valve Disciple. He's the only one who actually moves around. We just got King's Fallback, right? What does Oryx do? He sits still. War Priest, for the most part, he kind of moves, but it's very easy to track. Golgoroth, for the most part, sits still. The Sisters, which you don't really need Divinity for anyway, they sit still. Go to any of the previous raids. What does Taniks do? from Deep Stone Crypt. He sits still. Atheon from Vault of Glass sits still. This is what I mean. They don't really move anywhere. We all go to one design area. We stay there. You pop Divinity on the one thing because it doesn't move, and you just shoot. Now, let's say we don't have Divinity. Even before Divinity, that whole sitting still mechanic for me still bothered me, and it was still an issue. But with Divinity, like I said, it helps in terms of me getting shot by ads, and then the PvE flinch in this game is god awful. It's terrible. So that helps with that on top of that. So that's just what I'm saying. It's not just Divinity. Divinity is like this because the game is designed this way. That's why Divinity is so good, because the game was designed for you to sit in one spot and shoot said thing. And that's the overall problem. This is why I appreciate games like Monster Hunter so much, because look, man, once I got into Monster Hunter and I started fighting against a lot of the monsters in that game, it made me go, man, I really wish Destiny had more encounters like this. Like, imagine there was a boss that's kind of like, I'm gonna put a Raging up here on the screen. Imagine there's a boss that's kind of like a Raging. This man constantly moves around. And you think Divinity is gonna work on Raging? I mean, a couple of times when he gets tired, maybe. That's it. But for like the other 80% of the time, he is jumping around. And Divinity is not gonna matter. Because when you shoot Divinity, it has to sit there for a while and do sustained damage for that bubble to pop up. He doesn't give you enough time to even do that. And this is what I was trying to tell Salt when me and him had we had a little discussion. You know what I'm saying? It was civil. But I told him, I was just like, if bosses were more mobile, then Divinity wouldn't be much of an issue. He disagreed with me, and I was just like, I don't understand how that's a disagreement. I was like, I gave Roke as an example, but to be fair, Roke moves, but he doesn't move a lot. And Divinity still works on him. And it works on him really well because his crit spot is like fucking tiny. But it works for him because he doesn't move. He moves more than the average raid boss in Destiny does. He moves a lot more. But it's not enough. What I'm saying is that's a good start to mobile bosses. I want bosses to be moving around the entire arenas, like constantly maneuvering, instead of us just going, hey guys, let's meet up at said plate and shoot him here. And sit there for 15 seconds and doing nothing but damage while he's just eating my bullets instead of moving himself. That's what I mean by it's stupid. But with Monster Hunter, that doesn't happen. The bosses move around so much, and it takes a while, it takes skill, it takes planning, it takes a lot to be able to kill them because they move so much. And you can't just sit in the same spot because you will die doing that. You have to move too. And this is why I wish Destiny would learn from Monster Hunter when it comes to the boss encounters, because it would just make the game so much more fun to play if that was the case. And then, if you just have, say you're in one of the arenas where there's like 2 or 3 bosses you're fighting at once, they're all moving around. Divinity can't keep going to each one of them. This would, if you wanted to still use it, you technically could, but it's not gonna be a thing where it's just like I have to, because Divinity's not gonna be that much of an issue at that point. And I wish Destiny would learn from Monster Hunter so much. And that's what drew me to Monster Hunter, because I was like, yo, this is incredibly fun. I get to run around and try to chase after shit, or shit chases after me, and it's just like, it's fun. But here, it's just so stationary, it's just boring sometimes. And that's what the issue is for me more than Divinity, is the encounters. Now, you may agree with me, you may disagree with me. We're allowed to do both. It's okay. I'm not upset. As long as you're not an asshole and you know everything's civil, it's fine. That's what I told Salt. I was like, I'm not one of those assholes who's gonna come in just to shit talk to you. Like, I'm just giving you a different perspective. You know what I'm saying? We can agree to disagree, it's fine. I don't see how you can disagree with me saying more mobile bosses will make using Divinity harder. That's weird to be saying that it won't. But, you know, again, we can agree to disagree. So, I don't know, man. Overall, though, man, this whole debacle is just getting out of hand. It's so much shit. This has been trending on Twitter for the past, like, 4 days about Divinity. And it's just like, bruh. I understand he's bored, or the top 0.1% is bored, or 0.01%, or whatever is bored. I get it. But all I'm saying is you nerfing it for the rest of the 99% of people who are okay using it, just it's not the answer. You have to find some kind of middle ground somewhere. And Salt's middle ground is using Divinity makes it to where no other buff works at all. That includes the Divinity buff. So if you use Tether, if you use any other buff, it won't work. That I cannot agree with. But if Bungie listens and they somehow say, you know what, guys, we realize that Divinity is too strong, even though you guys spent countless hours in that stupid Guardian Salvation raid to get it, we're gonna nerf it. If they just made it to where you take the buff off of Divinity and you kept it to where I can use other buffs, fine, so be it. It's okay. But if you negate all buffs, if I use it, that's too much. That's where me and Salt part ways. But I don't know, man. I'm curious what your guys' opinion are about this, because yesterday I was just sitting there and I was just like, I need to make a video on this. I didn't write any script down. This is all off the top of my head. It's just me being annoyed, and I read it every day. I wake up, I'm looking, I'm like, yo, Divinity still trending? Like, Jesus Christ. And it's just like, oh God, this is. I understand all points to some degree, but I will just say this, man. Don't go shitting on the dude, like just talking shit to him. Like, that's kind of unnecessary. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. It's that man's opinion. You can agree and disagree, but don't go in there and talk shit to the dude. Like, that's just stupid. But you know, that's kind of what the Destiny community is. So, but hey, man, I got a solution for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say fuck it. And let's just revert back to the good old beginning of Destiny 2, to where we had nothing but primaries. Then you don't have to worry about any of that shit. We didn't even have trace rifles back then. Let's just hit the reset button and make it to where guns like snipers, fusion rifles, grenade launchers, and all that were considered heavy. Shotguns also, and we just use number primaries. That's a challenge for you. And why not just do that? Let's just get rid of all the stuff that we did. And I want to touch on one more thing before I go. It was the thing that Paul Chassie put up about this, and I was just like, you gotta understand, when you're nerfing Divinity, right? Then what's to say, hey man, we're using Tether too much. We have to get rid of that too. Keep in mind, Salt also wanted to nerf Will of Radiance. So let's just say we go down the whole line. We nerf Divinity, right? Then we nerf Will of Radiance. Then we nerf Tether. Then we nerf Bobo after he just got buffed. You know what I'm saying? What's next? Then all of a sudden, hey guys, we're using Thunder Crash too much. Let's nerf it also. Oh, y'all using Nova Bomb now? Hey guys, Nova Bomb too strong right now. Let's nerf that also. Like, where does it end? That's the overall point of this. Where does it end? So let's chill with the word nerf, and let's talk to Bungie about making better, more challenging encounters instead of just wanting to nerf every single thing because it's too easy for you. Let's do that. Please chill with the nerf talk, all right? But if you're gonna do it. Be real about it and have a middle ground somewhere. Don't be the extreme because you're just the greatest player ever. I get it. And some people will say, hey man, if you don't want to use Divinity, don't use it. And while a part of me thinks that's kind of like, that's not constructive. That's like saying if you're going to complain about the game, you don't play it anymore. It's that same excuse. But there's a small piece of me that's kind of just like, well, you know what I'm saying? If you want to challenge that bad, yeah, just don't use it. So I kind of see it both ways in this one, but I don't know, man. I'm rambling at this point. You get my point. At the end of the day, the takeaway is this: Bungie, make better encounters. Go play Monster Hunter and learn. Learn from how their boss encounters are. They're fun. They move around. They're active. They're mobile. Mobile. Yes, Bane. They're mobile. All that. Please though, let's just everybody take a chill pill, relax. Let's Salt have some, a couple of breathers or two, and keep the nerf talk. Let's just chill, man. Let's just chill. Let's be constructive. All right, Bungie, I hope you're listening to this. I've been rambling for, 10-15 minutes now, but it's just annoying. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you hit that comment section down below and tell me how you feel about this Divinity nerf. Are you with Salt? Do you think that we should just completely obliterate it and make it to where it's only the bubble and no debuffs are allowed? Or do you think it's like me, we should go to a middle ground to where you can take the debuff of Divinity away, but make it to where other buffs still count? Or if you really think like me, what encounters would you like to make better and more, active and mobile instead of just sitting in the same spot shooting over and over? Just let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Subscribe to the channel for more content. Hit that like button as it supports the channel. I love every single one of y'all. Your opinions all matter to me. Let's be civil and let's be chill. I'm out.